not labeling food. I cannot stress enough how much freedom that has given me. That's been something I never tried to do the other 6 years. I always thought restricting and limiting and being as healthy as possible would be a big key piece in my recovery, and that has just been bullshit for me. Hey, today I wanted to talk about anxiety. So in my last few videos, I have been really upbeat and positive, and recovery has been feeling so awesome. And I want to recognize that I have the tendency to kind of paint a perfect picture and want to present myself being really perfect and put together and like things are going well. And this is something I learned a lot, I think, in my childhood. Like, yeah, family stuff might be really hard, but just put a smile on your face and tell everyone it's okay. And I feel myself doing that as an adult too. And I really want this channel to be a place where I can be really honest and vulnerable and tell what's going on, even if what's going on is harder. So I wanted to talk to you about anxiety today. And I've realized that from my 15 years of eating disorder history, that all of that focus on food and calories and tracking numbers, and even like the past, 6 years of trying to recover, of the focus on beating myself up for slipping up the day before and just that self-hate, but that constant focus on food and the eating disorder was almost like a meditation. So it helped dull the outside world and made it just a little bit more bearable, right? Like a little bit more dull, not quite as intense. Yeah? That was my son, Sage. So when I focus on all of that food stuff, it helps dull the outside world and makes it less intense. And I didn't realize that that was a form of like helping manage my anxiety. But now that I've been in recovery, now that I'm not hyper focused on good foods and bad foods, now that I'm not restricting, now that I'm not purging, like that meditative state that I have been practicing for 15 years has gone away, and now the outside world seems so intense and so bright. And I've been having these really big moments of feeling overwhelmed with anxiety, from things as simple as what park to go to. I can have like a 30-minute breakdown of like this park or that park, or to bigger things like what are people thinking about me, and what are people thinking about me being more honest and telling about some of my struggles, and like work things. Like I have a bunch of these really big work things coming up that I can just get in my head and I can spiral into this like anxiety black hole. And so that's just been challenging. That's the truth. That's been like one of the biggest challenges I've been facing in recovery, is dealing with this new anxiety that I have because I'm not self-medicating in a way with my eating disorder. And what I've been trying to do is be aware that it's anxiety and I have to feel it. My eating disorder was a huge thing I used to escape feeling. And so I recognize that I'm going to have to feel. I'm going to have to feel my anxiety. I'm going to have to feel being full. And that's just going to need to be what my life is going to be like in recovery. And I think it's going to lessen like the more I've practiced eating and not throwing up and being comfortable with being full. Like it's already gotten easier, and it's been like 40 days. So I think anxiety is going to go down too, as I'm used to the world being so bright and beautiful and colorful, and not letting that stress me out so much. And the other thing I've been thinking of is, although I'm having anxiety about, play dates and work, I'm not having as much anxiety about my eating disorder. For like 6 years I've been trying to recover, and like I've said in past videos, sometimes I'd get some time without engaging in behaviors, but I never really felt free. And this has been the first time I feel really free. Like I'm not labeling food. I cannot stress enough how much freedom that has given me. That's been something I never tried to do the other 6 years. I always thought restricting and limiting and being as healthy as possible would be a big key piece in my recovery, and that has just been bullshit for me. Not labeling foods has been really freeing. So although I'm having anxiety about some of these other like life problems, I'm not having the constant minute to minute anxiety about this eating disorder and about how much shame I feel over it and what a bad person I just need to figure out how to do eating right and more healthy and more restricting so I don't binge and purge. And if I do binge and purge, I just have so much hate, and like it's just this constant cycle in my head. And that was so painful and so much anxiety. Like I was very rarely not thinking about what a screw up I was and how awful of a cycle this is. So although I'm having this life anxiety that I'm not as used to, I take that life anxiety any day over the anxiety of trying to figure out how to recover from this eating disorder. Sorry, allergy season. Hope my kids are crying. I hope my husband's dealing with that. Okay, so I just wanted to share that little video on anxiety and my experience of it. And to be really honest, that not every moment is unicorns, but it's feeling so much better in recovery, and I'm really, really, really grateful. And I'm grateful for you guys who have been watching it. Your love for me means so much.